Breaking news just coming. The Switzerland Department of Finance has reacted to headlines today after the government's revelations on offshore accounts holder list. The Department of Finance says that exchange of information on tax matters between India and Switzerland is based on the double taxation agreement. Swiss authorities maintain that the information can be shared in a court which is hearing tax matters. The Department of Finance said that it will not comment on particular cases, but also added that there is no official estimate or figure on undeclared funds in Switzerland. Smita Sharma now joins me on the phone line. Smita, just decode what they had to say and the court really coming in right now.
See, this is really a detailed sort of a response
Yes.
on email sent in across to us by the Department of Finance or the official spokesperson there, Anne Cesar, from Bern in Switzerland. In fact, we had sent in an email query to her asking for specific inputs into the fact that, would Switzerland have a problem if India were to disclose really names of these so-called black money account holders? How does it look at the ongoing probe? Are there political persons really involved in this entire case? Are there politicians' names also involved? So to which really, she has cited, as I see the email in front of me right now, that exchange of information on tax matters between India and Switzerland is based on the double taxation agreement and the protocol that the two countries signed in 2010. Remember, this has come into force in October 2011, but also effectively revised. Now, as I see this email, really what makes sense is that Switzerland would not have an objection as far as this information is shared with any court which is dealing with a specific tax evasion case.
And Smita, this is interesting because of the sole fact that that's something that the government has been saying, that they're also worried about future negotiations of tax treaties with the countries concerned.
See, that is in fact the latest stage, because remember, as far as this double taxation avoidance treaty is concerned, India has individual treaties with countries like, say, Germany or France, and this was something which Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, the Urban Development Minister, whom I was talking to just some time back, tried flagging by saying that, what, in future, if these countries decide to withhold information, then this will be like someone a purpose which really does not serve anybody's interest. So if I could just take you back, to this email where Anne Cesar really mentions that, any information received under, of course, the the DTA or the revised DTA really by a contracting state, it shall be treated as secret in the same manner as information obtained under the domestic laws of that state, and shall be disclosed only to persons or authorities, including courts and administrative bodies concerned with the assessment or collection of the enforcement or prosecution in respect or of the determination of appeals in relation to taxes. But she goes on to add that, however, the information exchanged can be provided to a court in situations which are dealing with specific cases, but it cannot be disclosed in principle to a court or another body outside of such proceedings. So clearly, if this really brings into question the Supreme Court's sort of seeking the government,
right,
asking them to submit all these names, which I think is something that the government was trying to flag off, like in the case of the earlier UPA government too.
All right, Deputy Editor Smita Sharma, thank you so much for joining us on that story. Well, that's the breaking news coming in. That's the first reaction coming from the Switzerland Department of Finance, and that is a reply to a mail sent by Headlines Today to them, asking them to clarify.